Some people asked about how I built the vapor hone cabinet, and really I just followed a couple of YouTube channels. One was Victor Baird and the other was Alvarez Metalworks. And Victor Baird has a whole list of the parts that you can buy on Amazon and eBay. One of the things I added was the foot pedal on the left side is for the pump, and it's just a toggle switch. So you hit it one time, turns the pump on, you hit it another time and it turns the pump off. And on the right side is the pedal for the air. The toggle switch pedal on the left is from Harbor Freight. One thing I added to his design is I made this block that holds this part, and this is so you can remove the pump, take it outside and wash it out. So I made this piece on my mill so it holds everything in place. And the pump setup is exactly the same as Victor Baird if you watch his YouTube video. And then the pressure gauge I bought on Amazon. I think he got his from Harbor Freight. I also made this frame for the cabinet to sit on. It raises it up, makes it a little more comfortable to work with, and it's on rollers so I can move it all around. It's got locking wheels. And the cabinet just sits inside that frame, it's not bolted in. For the door, I just ordered some aluminum and made my own panel to go on here and a deflector. There's a company called Tacoma that makes these parts, but I just decided to do it myself. And one problem with these cabinets when you make them a wet cabinet is every time you open the door, liquid spills out that gets caught on the ledge. So what I did, I added an extra deflector inside. And I have it so it overhangs the edge just a little bit, like maybe 1/8 of an inch. And what I did here, I put an extra rubber gasket above the door gasket, and you can see it seals up against this piece right here. So any liquid that gets on there is just deflected right to the inside, and it used to hang up on this other gasket. So having this deflector and this other deflector seemed to cure that problem. So this deflector just angles down. So for the lighting, I just used boat lights. They're like courtesy lights for a boat, or gunnel lights, and they're waterproof, so that was perfect. They're LED and they're really bright. And they're just mounted on a piece of aluminum angle and bolted to the top of the cabinet from the inside, just with 2 bolts on either end. And here for the lights, I just used the same switch that came with the cabinet. But you have to hook it up to a 12-volt transformer. And I have it mounted down below. And this is the 12-volt transformer. I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Tacoma company that makes the sheet metal cover for the door on the inside. They make this deflector. And originally that's supposed to be for the vacuum. And this is supposed to be the vent. But I guess it's not working out very well that way, so they've turned this into the vacuum and that into the vent. So that deflector covers the hole and gives good airflow. There's another YouTube channel called Alvarez Metalworks, and I'll put a link to his YouTube channel too, but he talks about the assembly of this cabinet, and he doesn't use it for wet blasting, but he has really good tips on modifications to this cabinet and a good way to build it. And one of them is this is open at the top when you buy the cabinet, and he shows you how to close it and fold it over so that the vacuum system will only suck in from the bottom instead of from the top. And Victor Baird, he makes these and sells them on Amazon. Really works good. He makes them on a 3D printer. And if you look at Victor's videos, he's got a lot of videos on this cabinet and all the improvements that he's made. And I followed his advice and took the glass out that came with the cabinet and used 1/4 inch glass that I had cut locally. If you watch his channel, you'll see he shows exactly how he puts it on and everything. Also, he talks about how he put these screws in here so that you can use your wing nuts to take the glass out real easy without having to get inside the cabinet. He's got a lot of good videos. If you buy a new cabinet and you're going to convert it over to a vapor hone cabinet, you should watch Alvarez Metalworks. He has a video on building the cabinet. Even though it's for dry, he has a lot of good tips. And the only thing I did different than what he did was he used two-sided tape. He used a heat gun and took off all of the sealing stuff that was already on the cabinet when you buy it, and removed all of that and used two-sided tape. But what I did was use, because I knew it was going to be wet, I used GE silicone on all the seams. So it's completely watertight. But one of his tips that I thought was good was, instead of having all these nuts on the inside, and there's the tapered chute on the bottom too, the nuts just stick up there and hang up all your garnet. And if you turn them around and just have the screw heads on the inside, it's a lot smoother transition. I didn't worry about it so much on the top, but on the sides and the bottom, I reversed the bolts so the nuts are on the outside and the flat screw heads are on the inside. If you watch one of my other videos, I go into detail on how I made this system for rinsing off the glass on the inside. It's on a timer. I'll put a link to Victor Baird's YouTube channel and Alvarez Metalworks YouTube channel. They have some really good videos on the Harbor Freight cabinet.